Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show, August 5th. Let's start out, Josh, with showing everybody how you can contact the show. There you go, right on the screen, 706-889-9700. And there's all the social media ways you can contact the show. Leave that up just a second, Josh. I thought about today, I'll tell you what, I don't know about others out there that do talk shows in the morning, opinion shows throughout the day. I don't know what Rush will say today at noon and some of the others. I have to come and say I really struggled this morning. Much like you, we're together on we've gone through several emotions. Okay, I thought about coming on this morning and letting you know how angry I am. Okay, how upset I am, hurt. Seriously, people are walking in a Walmart to go back to school shopping for their kids in El Paso, Texas. Somebody walks in and murders 20, injuring 40 or whatever on top of that. And all you're in there doing with your children is looking for a backpack and talking about how excited you are. Your kid's starting fourth grade, third grade this morning somewhere in America. So I thought about every emotion that we're all going through as Americans this morning. And, let's go here and we'll go. Let's start with a couple. All right, we're going to go through this first, okay? Because in America, if you're waking up this morning, if you watch the coverage, the wall-to-wall coverage, okay, of the wall-to-wall coverage from CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, if you watched any of the Sunday morning shows, we have reached a new low. Every time you think you come on and say we have reached a new low in America, we seem to surpass that. And America's waking up to a nation full of media idiots, just total media idiots, working for corporations, major media corporations that are in on the control of you and I. You see, nobody talked this weekend. I'm going to run through a couple. And I took notes this weekend. And as you well know, okay, so I watched the morning shows on Sunday to see all the direction, that Chris Wallace and Chuck Todd and John Carl at ABC and Brennan over at CBS. I watched the direction they're going. Now, I refuse to watch. I will watch clips, but I won't watch Jake Tapper and these people, okay? So anyhow, this morning, me, I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm tuning into CNN and I'm tuning into MSNBC. And I'm thinking, wow, this is how low we are. Josh, give me number 3, okay? Now, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, okay? Fox News Sunday. America is under attack from homegrown white nationalist terrorism. Okay? So that's Mayor Pete. And, we're going to get into some things that are a lot different today than anywhere else. Okay? So that's what Mayor Pete said. And hold on, I had it here just a second. Let me get it here. So Mayor Pete said yesterday on Chris Wallace, we have to name it and confront it. So I'm not going to say he led the way, but now there's this major call. We have to name it and confront it. White nationalist terrorism, white supremacy. Now, I want you to think today, because I tell you all the time, I only have 2 hours a day. These are things that you have to take off with. Now, I'm not going to get down rabbit trails of saying, get into conspiracies. Okay, not going to do that. Do you not find it interesting that there's been over 30 days, but there's been a good 30 days of beating the drum of white nationalists, white supremacists, the president's rhetoric, okay? And then this happens. So Pete Buttigieg says we have to name it, Mayor Pete. White nationalist terrorism. If we don't name it, we can't confront it. I'm wondering what we're naming the gun violence in Chicago, Philadelphia, South Bend, Indiana, Baltimore. I wonder what we're naming that so we can confront that. And we'll go over that today, okay? But they went everywhere on the media this weekend, okay? Let's go to, let's go to number 4. There's Chris Wallace. We're going to go through this first, okay? A nation of idiots, because I want to say this up front. Nobody, and we're going to get in depth on this, nobody this weekend, all right, how do we solve the problem? First of all, it's not gun violence. The gun cannot be violent. It's the person, okay? Now, I have a weapon. I don't discharge my weapon. My weapon is only as violent as I make it and you make it. And we are law-abiding as citizens in this country, and we do not use our weapon. This is not gun violence. Okay? Going to go through this deep this morning. I want you to know this. Nobody, I want to say this up front because these are some of the things I'm going to say. Nobody is talking about, okay, the torn social moral fabric in this country. Nobody. It is first day of school out there in America. So many places in America, you're sending your kids off to school this morning. They're getting on a school bus. They're probably getting on school buses that are now bulletproof. Glasses may be bulletproof. I don't know. But that's what we've had to do. We're raising a generation of kids institutional, right? We institutionalize criminals. We've institutionalizing a whole generation of children that get on a highly armed protective bus. And then they're dropped off at these institutions now, not schools, that are highly armed by deputies or school resource officers, whatever they're using. Many of them are going through scanners this morning, okay, metal detectors this morning to go to school in America. If you go to pick up your kid, it's like a state prison or a federal prison, the concrete walls with the bulletproof glass, and there's somebody sitting behind there, and you go to this little thing and you say, I'm here to pick up so-and-so. And then they tell you to step back 5 feet and stand on the X so they can take your picture, so they know you were there and it's in their database at that time. Folks, the government of the United States of America knows. Let me say one more thing, because I'm just going to go there. The social fabric. We're living in a place and a time. And I don't care how you come with this back at me. You could call this a hate crime. You can call it anything you want. But, at my age, I grew up in a neighborhood, and maybe I just didn't know it and they didn't tell us at that time. But I grew up in a mom and dad neighborhood in America. And I grew up where we gender identified, okay? And I grew up where there were little boys and little girls, and there was, I'm not going to say no confusion. Maybe they didn't tell us that. But somewhere in America. And you're going to say, what's this got to do with a shooting? We are off the rails. We are social, moral fabric. It's torn apart and we're off the rails. And I'm going to explain to you where I'm going. Somewhere in America, there's 2 men. Let's just say 2 men that are married, cohabitating. And they have adopted a little boy. And they're getting their little boy dressed for school, but they're allowing the child all the space it needs to identify its gender. You're saying, what does this have to do with a shooting? Stay with me. They're allowing somewhere in America this kid the space to identify its gender. And then long about third grade, second grade, or even kindergarten, this kid says, hey, I don't think I'm a little boy. I would like to wear a dress to school. And everybody pats the little kid on the back and says, express yourself. We are gone, folks. Let me tell you why, okay? Gun violence and why they want to rush back and why they want to do something. I'm going to say this, I'm going to take a break because we're going to get through a lot more. America, the government knows it cannot repair the moral social fabric in this country. The government knows that there's computer simulations out there. I know because I run a business, so I can come to you on a webcast, so I can come to you in a studio where I know I have to have the fastest moving graphics cards available. We are creating simulators, not video games. Kevin McCarthy is being made fun of this morning because he said video games. We're raising a generation of children that are murdering people before they're actually murdering people. We have Hollywood, the media, video game manufacturers, filthy, nasty lyrics in our music, filthy, nasty lyrics. The kids are listening to it. I know you are not my child. Your kids are playing video games. You're waking up in America where you've got 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and mom and dad are saying what? Why, I don't go in their room because I'm allowing them the privacy they deserve. I don't go through their things because they deserve their privacy as they can, so they can grow. What the hell are you doing? You've got 12-year-olds inside at night, not going to bed, simulating murders, mass murders. I can't go on and on. But let me tell you something, America. Your government knows that we are gone. Your government knows that the Supreme Court, when it said, hey, you know what? We will legalize same-sex marriage. Your government knows when they said, hey, what we will do is allow a Muslim to put their hand on the Quran and swear allegiance to a constitution that's not possible. We know it's gone. Now, I'm an optimist, but the government knows we are not putting back, and we are not headed in a direction to heal the social and moral fabric that's ripped us apart in this country, that has divided us. And you know what they know? The only thing left to do is to control us. And that's where it's going. They will have full control of us very soon. I'm your host, BKP. Sad day in America. I hope you're not too upset. We're going to come back. We're going to go through things. Let's look at El Paso County and let's see, is it Montgomery County, Ohio, where the shootings took place? Let's look at that this morning. Let's look at some other things out there that we don't identify, don't look at. And what happened to Baltimore all of a sudden? Why is it off the radar? And these Democrat candidates really coming off what they say is a debate, really coming out all the media this weekend and letting them spew their hate and lies. Oh, folks, hang in there with me, okay? Because this is not a gun-free zone. I'm your host, BKP. Hey, Josh, let's take a little break, and we'll be back right after these messages.